Hi guys, welcome to the channel of love. Okay, I want to jump on and do like an energy check-in from now until the weekend because I'm not sure how much I'm going to be available, to be able to jump on. So I really want to get, let's just have a look at the energy. I just want to kind of have a look, see what's going down between now and the weekend. Let's use the Rider-Waite. Okay, I'm going to pull some cards first. One more row. I always worry when I choose my attire for the day that it's going to kind of come in with the theme, a thriller. And it is a bit gloomy. It's a bit like graveyardy today. Okay, I've got to try and put a story together. It's a bit all over the place. Right, let's have a look at the underlying energy. Queen of Cups. So, a loving, nurturing, mature, I'm going to say with this Queen of Cups here. This nurturing energy of love. Okay, so she's the underlying energy. Now we've got to try and put a story here. Let's just take each row, I think, because nothing was really jumping out. I can see that there's maybe movement, maybe not. There's a transition. There's no love. There's a loss of love. There's no love, but there is a transition. So it's making me feel this transition is going towards that Queen of Cups. Let's read the cards, and then we're going to have to clarify, because I've not got a story that's jumping out at me. Okay, so we've got the end of the road. So this is somebody that, it's definitely a masculine energy, okay? So we have a masculine here, end of the road, worn out, done in, lying there on the floor, can't get up. It's kind of that energy we picked up on yesterday, that depression. In his head, thinking logically. I feel a bit more of a sternness to this today. This King of Swords. So he's really thinking. And then we have a feminine who is kind of bound. There's non-movement here. So she's not aware of anything in the physical because she's in the dark there. She's restricted. But then we have Justice here, first major arcana. So this is about, it's definitely about wrapping up karmic cycles. There is the transition here. The scales are about to balance out with Justice here. That's the first row. Let's carry on, second row. The Hangman. Gaining more information, studying. So becoming enlightened. Then we have the emotional loss card, which will be, I'm going to say the Justice card is about wrapping up these 3 cups here. So then you can turn around to the 2, but you have to complete karmic cycles. Otherwise they just keep coming back. Then we have the transition. That's going from basically when you turn around. That's the transition. So going from one way of living, I'm starting to lose my voice. going from one way of living into an enlightened, okay, new beginning. If you have a look here, it's like the Pentacles. It's interesting, I've never really seen it like this, because actually, you know, this is a spiritual, okay, building, I'm going to say. I'm going to say that just by kind of the glass, okay, the stained glass window. Now, we kind of hunt for our money outside of there, don't we, in society, okay? You don't really feel that you're going to find your financial abundance within religion, spirituality, belief. But he's looking up as if to kind of say, because that's really like the tree of life there. And it's like when you surrender and you walk towards spirituality, you are kind of financially, materially, emotionally abundant. So then we have the Hierophant. Next major arcana underneath that Justice card there. I feel that this here is like kind of the gatekeeper. So I feel this is kind of like the masculine's energy here, because these are the keys, the masculine and feminine's kind of energy combined there. And this, I feel, is the gateway really towards this moving towards spirituality, enlightenment. So I feel that this is kind of just waiting for the right time, because once you make the transition, you can't go back, and that's why it's important to wrap up these karmic cycles. Otherwise, you will just keep coming up against them. But I think you've come up against enough now. And this is why you're thinking logically. It's about justice. It's about understanding. It's about your knowledge. And then just kind of waiting for the right time to make the transition. Okay, the last row. We've got 3 major arcanas here. We start off with the Magician. So it comes in great with the Justice card there and the Hierophant, because this is being divinely orchestrated. So follow your guidance. As above, so below. As within, so without. And then we have the next major arcana, which is the Death card. Coming back enlightened. So that's rebirth. So yesterday we spoke about that peace comes after, well, the depression of death, after the dark night. We have now been balanced, or trying to remain balanced, okay, maintain balance. Here's the infinity symbol here. So I'm going to say that this is more, once you've taken kind of the step into this new enlightened beginning, you kind of understand that things may get choppy, but it's like a dedication, a commitment. And then we have major arcana, the Wheel of Fortune. So there's definitely a change in direction, and it's towards destiny. What I love about all the fixed signs there in each corner, so you have Aquarius and Scorpio, Taurus and Leo, they're all studying. Being fixed signs, they are all stubborn, okay, but they are committed. So loyalty's there. And it looks like, yeah, with the transformation here, it's a commitment. It's like a compass, isn't it? It's just I picked up on the studying. All 4 of the fixed signs here actually studying, which will come in great with the Hangman. As above, so below. spirituality. Okay. Let's, I want to clarify. Oh, hello. How are we going to do this? I'm wearing black for one and you are very white. I'm not sure we can do this today. I know, it's tough, isn't it? So, would you like to come down? Okay, I'm going to actually pick you up and... Okay, I know. Good girl. Not today, please. Okay, that's Lily dealt with, I hope. She can be quite persistent if she wants. And we've got the maintenance guys outside, okay. All good. Okay, let's use these. These are my newish stuff, aren't they? Why are you looking at me like that? No, that doesn't mean come up. We'll have cuddles soon. Look at my lap, like that. Lily. Baby girl. I know. Okay, let's use these cards with the strangest of visuals I've ever come across in tarot cards. So let's see what they want to say. Let's see what I pick up from them. Let's have a look at Ten of Swords. I've got a bit of hair, haven't I? Okay, it's 10:44, in case you were wondering. So, Ten of Swords, let's have a look what card wants to come out. Oh, the song that's coming through is, can we just talk? Can we just talk? Talk about where we're going. That's quite high for me to sing. That's what was coming through. Okay, Ten of Swords. Five of Pentacles, so that's a transition. I said it was the end of the road. Yeah, it's quite the house is upside down in the eye. The pentacles are all falling in the tears. There's thorns there. That Five of Pentacles there is the same as that. Lily, you're restless. Can you come down from the counter, please? There's a pot plant up there. Please don't jump up there. Come down. Good girl. Okay, let's have a look at this King of Swords. Good girl. Thank you. Let's have a look at this King of Swords. I felt that maybe he was in a bit more of a stern of energy. I spoke yesterday about the energy of this King of Swords looking after himself, and he's now, it is kind of a change in direction, but he has some devilish energy within him. Maybe he has plans after this end of the road. But he's like leaving behind. I'm not sure. Look at all the skulls at the bottom there. So now we have this feminine energy. Lily, I can see you at the corner of my eye. You're not jumping up, darling. So this is the Eight of Swords. This is about non-movement. You can feel like you're trapped and bound. You can get yourself out of this. But sometimes you do need to surrender. All the time, not sometimes. You need to surrender to the divine and allow yourself to be in this kind of non-action, non-movement, stillness, of nothingness. Okay, do you want to do the lap? Let's do it. Okay, come here then. You have to come down here. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Compromise, let's do it. Compromise. Okay, can you lay down though? There's a good girl. I'm going to pull myself in and then you can get settled on my nice black clothing. Okay. Let's get a card for this Eight of Swords. I've never realised this just says the Priestess, not the High Priestess, the Priestess. Here's the book here. I mentioned the book in the world, in the Wheel of Fortune, in the Destiny card. So I said that the feminine here is it's a non-movement. And that's exactly what it is. It's going within, following in your intuition. The High Priestess here, or the Priestess, knows the truth in the situation. So she's knowing what she's needing to do, and that's just to go within. If you have a look, there's the house on the world at the bottom, and it looks like it's just about to line up with her hand and the sunshine. Have a look. And then she's pointing to the words, and it's really just about allowing the process to, it's non-action, allowing the process to unfold. We have justice, that's really when you surrender and you allow the karmic cycles and patterns to balance out. The giving and receiving of the universe. Being a major arcana, this is when, you know, justice is served. The feminine energy here is just going with the flow and allowing, I want to say, the universe to do what the universe knows to do. The masculine here is going through the transition, but is hitting the masculine energy harder at this moment. Let's have a look what justice is doing, as I'm just not sure if all that came out actually made any sense. But it came out. Four of Wands. Now that's the soulmate card. There's your flame. This is your happy community, happy life. It's the Four of Wands. It's the soulmate card, the 11-11 card. So that's what justice is actually sorting out the universe. Now we've got the Hangman. This is about becoming enlightened, more information. He's a student. He's a student, man. Okay, this card is just... He's got a hunger in his belly. It's like a morphing here into the feminine energy as well. You can kind of see two big flames, I want to say, behind him. It's the most bizarrest of cards. There's like a dagger through the heart. And it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. X marks the spot. So the Knave of Pentacles is the page. I'll show you the cards in a minute. The Page of Pentacles. I'm trying to think of what the meaning of the card is. It brings a message. Okay, of ideas. You tell me what you get from that. What do you think? Okay, and that goes with the Hangman. So the Knave of Pentacles is lots of ideas, okay, regarding Pentacles. Then we have the emotional loss card. So now this is about the point of actually, you've got ideas, you're enlightened. You now need to turn around towards the Two of Cups. But we still have this, I'm not going to say dwelling, okay, because it's really tough. Whenever there's a change in your life, there is that transition that you have to adjust to it. I'm taking off, I believe, a couple of days because I have a transition going on in my life. It's going to take me a few days to adjust to it. So it's, you kind of, if you understand the process, you know then that you can commit yourself to that part of the transition, part of the journey that you know. Dealing with the karma. We have to do it so that it can never repeat again. Okay, so it's like following through on wrapping up karmic cycles, no matter how difficult it can be. Okay, so the Five of Cups. Let's get a clarification. That one wants to come. Why are you wagging your tail? You not like what I had to say? I don't know why you're wagging it. Eight of Wands. This is about things happening quickly. Yeah, okay, so wrapping up these cycles, it's about what I just said. I know that really, come next week, my whole environment, my whole life's going to be completely different. That's how quick it can happen once these cycles are wrapped up. Now, let's see if we can make any sense of the actual card. There's a castle. Okay, that's interesting because it's protected by two lots of Four Wands. One tower and another tower. Four Wands attached, which made me feel the soulmates, things happening quickly. There's half and half here. It's both these towers have been hit, but in the middle, I spoke about the home coming round. It's like down come the towers and you're left with your own little castle. Maybe that's what's in the background now. When you turn around and walk away across the bridge here, you kind of come to this. The middle there has the heart. Okay. Here's a transition. It's making the move. No matter how battered you are, there's always hope. Okay. Four of Pentacles. This is the building firm foundations or hanging on to things. And you've got like a devil cloud above you. Very interesting, but this is about building firm foundations. It's very pentacle focused. Tell me what you make of that. I want to get another one for that. The devil. An issue. There's an issue here about spirituality. About actually surrendering. It's the two images. The devil normally has the lovers in the card, and if you can have a look at the two creatures at the bottom there, they reminded me a long time ago when I done research on Zeus and soulmates. I mean, years ago, I remember seeing an image, and that's what they kind of looked like, because they say that we were kind of round. Like we kind of, because it was two, like the yin yang sign, there you go. But we would have like four armed, hands and arms and four legs, and together we could really roll around. be quite powerful. But I've never seen the image since, even when I've been studying it lately and sharing, when we done the topic on like Zeus and the soulmates. But that's what they just reminded me of, the symbol I saw. It's like an old drawing, but it was like kind of illustrated as these round... Oh, do you know what I was singing before I came on? Doesn't even kind of come in with it, but it was like, remember you're a womble. I mean, remember you're a womble. A womble are not like them, but that's what I was singing. I'm like, remember you're a womble. Why am I singing remember you're a womble? The devil. So the devil with this transition, I said it's about holding on to things too tightly, maybe, about building firm foundations. So this is not being able to let go of the old, and it would be due to trying to hold on to them pentacles, but it's a surrender. There's a surrender there. It's about letting go of the pentacles, and in comes your spiritual abundance. So there's still that block there. The Hierophant. Major Arcana, masculine, feminine keys there. And I want to say it's kind of about being the gatekeeper and opening up the gate from the 3D, so that really the divine masculines can help lead. Most definitely the masculine's energy kind of guiding leadership into through the journey of ascension. But it takes challenging times to actually get over, understand the process, clear up these karmic cycles, and then you can obviously be a beacon to guide others. So I was touching on this yesterday, but this is the point where the connection can't come together until it's ready, because there's no going back. When the two come together again, it's going to be that the wheel will be in motion. You get the ball rolling. Oh, this is awesome. I love how my brain works. We're going to get the ball rolling. Okay. That would make sense. So it's this, I'm not even sure if it's a fear. I'm not even sure it's a fear of the connection, because I said that there was no love here, so the love wasn't an issue. I wasn't feeling. It wasn't about that. And I've touched on that as well, isn't it? Haven't I? Isn't it? Okay, let's stop and just get our words out properly. I spoke about it, not just it. The love isn't the question. It's the transition. This is about traditions, marriage, commitment. So let's have a look at this Hierophant. Remember you're one ball. Seriously. Queen of Cups. So she's the underlying energy. I wanted to say that he had like the treasure in his belly. And I don't know why, but the Queen of Cups here, it's just like, she is just so nurturing. Look at the butterflies in the belly. So she causes butterflies in the belly. It's just very much in, she's very fertile. There's a rose there growing inside. She's covering herself. Okay, what did I pick up about thorns? I just picked up with the thorns here, it's like the actual loss of this Queen of Cups. Because this is where this energy is going to. Oh, why am I putting you there? This is about being directed, about knowing what the right thing to do is. So, let's have a look at this Magician. This is about you manifesting. It's 1101. It's about you manifesting, and then I've just looked down and seen a 1, which will bring it to 1111. The infinity symbols here. It's like it's time. This is it's like it's time for the gate to open, to be opened. Three of Wands. It's time. It's manifestation time. He's pointing to the Tower. Oh, it's like he's actually... Oh. It's like it's countdown now. You got the apple, like in the heart. Yeah, oh, I can't say the apple of my eye because it's not. It's like he's just about to push the button to, like, I don't know, Blackman Towers. But it's with Magician. So it's like it's time. It's time for the Tower moment. That's the Three of Wands, which means you're waiting for your ships to come in. It's waiting for manifestation. You've put out the intention. Justice is here. And it's time. What was the other one? Eight of Pentacles. It's like, yeah, this is about working on your future, and they look like they're all rolling to you now. I've never looked at this card like this, but it's bypassing death. It's kind of like you've gone through your transformation, okay, and that all went in and kind of destroyed your foundations, okay. Death just kind of made it very unhappy, but now that you're through that, looks like this abundance just comes flying in. These because there's no description on how I'm meant to read these cards, so these little, I want to call them shuttlecocks, but I think the spirit we said once you let go, and it looks like there's just been a whole lot of nasties that have been buried under that house now. In comes, I like that. Is that like kind of the yin yang at the top there, a kind of weirdish version of it as an eye? It's been divinely orchestrated. This is all. Someone's like kind of been watching from above. They knew what the process was, what was happening. It just had to unfold so that the transformation can happen. This happens after the dark night of the soul, after really you've lost everything near on. That's when you know you're very nearly there, when it's a whole way to keep track, to see how close you are to the veil, but have a look how many people are left who you resonate with. Transformation, temperance, it's a blending, it's time. This is the blending of, this is reconciliation. Oh, very interesting card. Face is covered up, so you can no longer distinguish, I'm going to say, between, where's my little roly-poly people gone? They actually look like two thorns that are being joined together. We have a hummingbird who's pollinating. Quite beautiful. Lots going on in that bowl there. The rainbow. The birds are red, which makes me feel challenging. It's just about, I don't know, I want to say blood. Blood, sweat and tears. And it's like the birds of peace have been on a journey. Don't know why I'm picking up that. Have a look, because there's two thorns there that are joining. So the temperance is about the feminine, masculine energy coming together, the blending of them. Once you do that, you can move on to the rainbow. Okay, the rainbow, the happily ever after. You can slide down the rainbow. It's absolutely fine. It's here. Slide. I spoke about the two coming together here with the blending. And if you can see, the face is covered, which means that you can't really distinguish them separately anymore because they're now one. You've got the sun at the top, which would be the masculine's energy, and then you could say that you've got the moon now of the feminine's energy, of the stars. It's you can see that, I think it's a hummingbird. You can see again here, you've got the moon and you've got the sun blending. That's what temperance is that chemistry. Now that was with the Death card. Now we have this, I called it the commitment card. A commitment to it's like keeping in control and balance. It's a commitment, a dedication, no matter what, however things go, however they get choppy. It's a commitment to being balanced, to seeing through the process. Okay, let's get a Two of Cups, spiritual union. This here used to be my soulmate card when I first started to learn tarot. Okay, it was referred to as balancing out those pentacles with the feminine masculine energy, and that's where it's infinite potential. And then we have the Two of Cups here, which is spiritual union, masculine and feminine energy blending. Look at the butterflies around them. But you can see there's been a lot going on underground. They are really rooted in these cups now. Okay, let's have a look at this Destiny card. The wheel's about to change. There's a change in direction here. The Hierophant again. So we have the Hierophant here with the Queen of Cups. And then we've got the Hierophant with Destiny. I haven't even looked at this card. Right, okay. It's quite beautiful. Look, two coming together. It's the key there. You can just see. This is authority. This is guidance. What's the name of this elephant? I want to say something like Nisha. I don't know. I don't really study into. I think it's Indian, isn't it? Nisha, Ganesha. But it's a symbolism, isn't it, that you go towards to. I don't actually know them. I do know the name. I've heard it, but it's not enough to that I've studied. Maybe that's something. But it's a very fancied elephant, isn't it, all dressed up. It's time to do some research on that because it does intrigue me. And I'd like to know more about the story behind this elephant. There's two flames there burning. What's the bottom? Two of Swords, indecision. This could be about refusing not to speak, refusing not to see. What's with the bow tie? It's not even a bow tie, or is it? Could be a hair tie. Hair bow at the top there. Okay, we need to find out more. What a reading. I do want to pick this away. I'm going to put this away. This is very confusing. Maybe it's going to be a confusing couple of days. Looks like these justices here. It's karmic. Some karmic stuff that needs to still be balanced out so that you're strong enough to go forward. Okay. Let's put these away. Okay, you can go. I'm going to look at the Oracle Shadows and Lights. I'll leave those there. I might need them in a minute. I don't know why I feel I'm going to use them again, but okay, I'd rather just get a reading out today. It's 11:11. And just try and get a really good thorough reading out. And then you can kind of just, I feel you could just kind of, once you know what may be expected, it's easy to back off. So it's like I said, that King of Swords didn't look in a particularly great mood. So let's have a look at why the Voodoo in Blue is here. Back off. Card number 22, that's 11:11. Could be actually standing up for this connection now and wrapping up things that there's nothing that can actually come in the way now. That's what I'm feeling from this. So it's about wrapping up those cycles so you can move towards that Queen of Cups, that emotional fulfillment, that love. Here's back up, back up, back up, back off. It's a thriller, can't you see? Let's not start singing Thriller. Right. The message is back off, Voodoo in Blue. This fairy is letting you know that it's time to back off from a person or situation that is not in your best interests, and that you may need to be brave and stop being so welcoming of what you actually do not want. So, this blue fairy waving her voodoo doll is letting you know very clearly that you now must tell someone to take a step back. You know you have been overriding your instincts with what seems rational, with misguided desire to help and befriend someone who may not be particularly good for you. Voodoo in Blue doesn't mind if she looks a bit nasty when she gives the back off message. She'd rather she was loud and clear and that the person pushing her buttons leaves quickly. So she wants you to start trusting your instincts, to start valuing being honest about being nice. You do feel like you need to stay away from someone and to tell that person clearly to stay away from you. And Voodoo in Blue, stepping forward to speak with you, conforms that your hunches have been ever so right. I spoke about taking a couple of times off, okay? A couple of times off. As I heard a gate go, maybe needing to take a couple of times. Maybe I need to take a couple of times off. I mean, this is what happens. We go through a transition. You have to adjust, okay? You have to sometimes put your foot down. You have to follow through on things that you know are not going to be pleasant, but they need to, okay? So you can wrap up the cycle. You need to try and do it the best way that you can to get the message across clearly enough to say that this is never, ever, ever, ever going to happen again. I'm just not going to allow it. Okay, so that's a kind of thriller that we all have to go through to be able to wrap up these cycles. Let's have a look at what Voodoo in Blue speaks. Just allow me to be a channel, okay, because I haven't got a clue what my words are saying. Voodoo in Blue speaks. I was going to say, let's see what she wants to say, but okay. You are doing so well right now that you may begin to attract some attention from people who are, quite simply, opportunists. Oh, opportunistic. How do you say this? Opportunistic. Opportunistic. probably said it right the first time, I'm not sure. Okay. And you are being kind and wishing to help. And so I'm going to, let's just start this again. You are doing so well right now that you may begin to attract some attention from people who are quite simply opportunistic. And you are being kind and wishing to help. And so am I going to step in and give you a very clear warning. I don't mind if I look like the bad guy. What matters is that you get the message. Time to do a little stay away magic. And while I won't be sending them bad thoughts, after all, there are no pins in my voodoo doll. You, if you take my advice, won't be asking them to come around for tea anytime soon. Your feelings are right on this one. You know what to do. Don't get involved and don't get bullied. You may have to snarl too, a little, to get them to stay away. It is so easy to back down at this stage and feel that you're being unfair and you're the one that's in the wrong, and maybe it's not as bad as what you think and things have got better. And sometimes it's like, let's read the divination message. You need someone to back off and give you space. We are not liking them, you are not welcoming them, and you need to be very clear and straight about that, despite all your desires to be a loving and lovely person. Detach from whatever it is that's giving you so much, well, grief, by asking whatever and whoever it is that is irritating you, draining you, or pushing your buttons to leave you be for the moment. Be respectful and kind, yet cool at first. But if good intentions are mistaken for a new invitation, be very clear and say away. Stop being so nice that you send very mixed messages. It's banishing time. And it is only, the healing can take place when it's taken away from the environment that created it, the pain. Let's leave it there. Back off. Get to a point. Back off. The healing can take place then. And it gives people time to think. And to, yeah, it is about having space. And normally this comes when somebody actually won't give you the space. They say that they are, but they don't give you the space. They don't have the patience to be able to give you the space. And normally then that has an opposite effect, and they actually then suffocate you. Yeah. And then I said about the transition, and then it's the transition of once that's done, you have to then adjust to that and heal from that situation. So, knowing how the process works. Otherwise, that's how we keep repeating cycles. And it doesn't have to be that it's nasty. You just have to follow through and not back down. Okay. It's weird how I've done these. I'm leading you towards the answer to your prayers. Please listen to and follow the steps I'm communicating through your intuition, thoughts and dreams. Connect. It says new psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world and yourself. Allow your spiritual gifts to open through study, prayer and meditation. I am the angel of abundance. You will receive the money that you need. And God is in charge of how that will happen. Have faith. And you are a light worker. God needs you to shine your divine light and love like an angel upon the earth and all of its inhabitants. So this is now the transition into kind of mission now. Spiritual and psychic experiences are really going to be awakening and opening up. Money's taken care of. God's in charge of how that will happen. I think the most important part now is just wrapping up this final part of the karma that's lingering, and will continue to linger if it's not actually faced and dealt with. So, okay. Keep charging ahead and don't take no for an answer. Expect miraculous solutions to appear. We're going to read this one. It's very much the feminine energy here. The mystery, the mystery of it. It can be a shock when a nice person kind of puts their foot down, when they've been so welcoming and tolerant. We don't want to go to that book. Let's read what Mystique wants to say. You are on the right path, although it might seem to take a lot of time and effort. Keep up the good work. You are definitely making progress towards your intended outcome. Sometimes flexibility is called for when you're working toward an aim, but in this instance, you need to stay firm in your conviction. Compromise will only water down the divine plan that you're manifesting. It's going to be a tough one over these next few days. Compromise will only water down the divine plan that you are manifesting. Stick to what you say you're going to do. Because if you look back, you probably haven't done that. You've probably just forgiven, forgotten, and allowed behaviours to continue that you know are not acceptable. And it's kind of like, I think it's a bit shock and awe now, because you're serious. And here comes the follow through. And there could be a fight. Or maybe there has been. This is just the remnants of it. Because I feel with that back off card, I think the message has already been delivered. It's just the follow through. So, resist the urge to bend or to please others. In the end, these individuals will be pleased by the outcome. You're following a divine course, and others may not be privy to the same vision that you're following. Do your best to explain this vision to the others involved, but don't feel the need to defend your actions. Look at my picture. I'm coming out of the darkness and into the light. So are you. You know what you're doing, and we in heaven are here to back you up fully. Underneath it says time out. You've been so busy taking care of everyone else's needs, but now it's time to stop and take care of yourself. You can only really do that when you are kind of left alone and everyone's backed off. And it could be long overdue. It's definitely a final hurdle here. Feels really quite nice. I actually really like the way that the reading comes out, because it gives you that clarity that what you are doing, no matter what is said to you, the guidance has said, you're right on this one. You need to wrap this cycle up. It's like someone has probably just received the shock of their life. Because if you've allowed yourself to be manipulated by people, they're not going to like that being taken away from them when you see through it. And they're not going to like to hear what maybe you've got to say. Maybe they're not really going to like the reality check. But it says that you'll see that the outcome for the other person involved, they will realise that it was the right thing. Maybe not now, Let's get some daily guidance from your angels. It says, see only love. Look past the seeming errors, mistakes and misunderstandings and see only the love within each person, including yourself. Your resolute focus upon the love that underlies every situation brings about healing in undreamed of ways. I think that if somebody really does love you, then they would give you the space. They would really see that you needed the space, and you have to understand that when you're up against these kind of people, they need love more than ever. That's why they behave that way. Loneliness, the fear of abandonment, the fear that they can't cope. So, let's read this. Adamant. It's like, stand and deliver. Whoa, whoa. Okay. See only love. Look past the seeming errors, mistakes and misunderstandings and see only the love within each person, including yourself. Your resolute focus upon the love that underlies every situation brings about healing in undreamed of ways. The angels gave you this card as a reminder to see yourself, others and every situation through their eyes. When you focus on love, anything that's unloving falls away. It's like turning on a light to diminish the previous darkness. Call upon the angels whenever you need help to elevate your visions to a more loving vantage point. Additional meanings for this card. Look past the personalities and egos of others and see the angel within them. The angels can help you with this if it seems difficult. Forgive, release anger, hurt or judgments to the angels and affirm what you desire instead of what you fear. And coming into the light here, it's really about people that are, maybe still not enlightened, okay? Otherwise, that's why there's this disconnect here. It's easier to see the love when the actual situation has been, you're not in the middle of it and you have that space. But it's impossible to heal. And that's why this kind of separation has to happen for individual growth, for a deeper understanding, that are kind of uniquely sent to us for our own personal growth, our own fears, triggers, insecurities, because it's normally those that will play out the things that you never really want to happen, because they're a fear. In a way, you will attract them, so that you have to overcome that fear. So in a way, I think I quite like to have a look at every situation, and then I've kind of dealt with it. They're not really fears, which means I'm less likely to manifest the the things that I'm worrying about, because it's kind of like, dealt with. Yeah. Your deepest, what's deepest? Your deepest, darkest fears will be sent for you to clear. And the stronger the fear, the more you're going to attract it. Innocence. Beloved one, everyone is guiltless in truth, as no one can alter God's handiwork of perfection. Give us your feelings of heaviness so we can lighten your load. Give us any guilt, anger or blame that may shroud your loving outlook. Enjoy the peace within your heart once more. That's let's just read this. Such an important card. This card comes as reassurance that this situation and the people involved are guiltless. If you've been harbouring guilt, release it to the angels. Of all the emotions, guilt has the lowest vibration, so it attracts negativity. If you're judging others' guilt, this card reminds you to see the godliness within them, to heal the situation. You don't necessarily have to continue a relationship with anyone you distrust. However, it's necessary to purge the toxic thoughts and emotions for your own well-being. And you'll find that they do the same. Toxic thoughts, feelings, emotions will just come out. That's that back off card. The angels ask you to consider that any misunderstandings were an innocent mistake. So additional meanings for this card: see the other's point of view, forgive yourself and release regrets. An argument you have may be based on a misunderstanding. Honour the inner child within yourself and others. I want to say with that, cry it out, because it's going to be a lot of fear. There's just going to be a lot of emotion, like there is after a major kind of shift. Adaptation. Look past surface delusions and see the underlying spiritual truth of perfection and divine order. I like to just think some people are just not going to be coming with us at the moment, you know, on this path. It doesn't mean they won't forever, but when you actually set boundaries and know what you can control, that is your environment and who you choose to spend time with. No matter who they are. Let's get a journey of love. I feel like I want to get a Mother Mary card. And I think I'm going to go. I don't think there's much more. We'll have a look at how it is after. I don't know when I'm going to come back on. Who knows then when that will be, but if you visualise things going plain sailing, they're more likely to. Expect a positive outcome, as in the transition being smooth, knowing that it's for the right reasons. What's saying stay steadfast. That doesn't mean cruel, it just means not backing down. Dream a little. This one came out the other day. I want to get another one. The Cloak. I know Dream a Little, I believe, was just a very small message. So 51 brings us to a 6. The divine wants to bless you with inspiration, just as a lover would come to the door of the beloved with a spontaneous gift of flowers. So dream a little. Let your imagination wander and wander. What if? What else could be? Breaking down the rigid walls of expectation. Just because something has been does not indicate that it must continue in the same way. So dream a little and receive your spiritual gift. This oracle brings you guidance. A spiritual gift of inspiration is on its way or has just recently been received. It isn't flight or fancy, it's a gift from the divine. Receive it and believe in new possibilities. Let's read this poem. From unexpected meetings, we talked and shared our lifetime, a gentle, peaceful, quiet time, reflected in our smile. We winged our way to distant places and walked along remembered faces of lives we knew we lived some time before. And like a bud about to flower, having reached its appointed hour, we watch ourselves begin to open in the warm touch of spring. Oh, card number 50. That was 51. Card number 50. So it's like we've kind of gone back. We've got the cloak here. And it looks like your spiritual gifts will be delivered. Okay. Let's have a look at this cloak, because I feel this has got to really do with dealing with this back off energy. It's like wrapping up this cycle. once and for all. Okay, the cloak. Around you there is a cloak of your own creation. Perhaps it has served you for a time as an invisible form of protection, as a way to claim needed solitude, as a way to retreat inside to find out what you truly feel, what you truly need, to find yourself after being lost in an ocean of thought and emotion, not always your own. Yet the time is fast approaching when you will no longer require the cloak. You have attained an integration within, a knowledge of self that makes it possible for you to connect with the world, with others, and in a way that does not leave you lost or struggling to find yourself. And they're the people that we are dealing with now, the people that leave us feeling lost and struggling. Okay. You have learned how to hold yourself. You have learned how to do this well enough that you can successfully hold yourself and hold another too. You don't have to push the world away. You can invite it in and play. The message that this oracle brings to you is that you can safely release the forms of security that you once held. You do not have to abandon your boundaries with others. Rather, your boundaries are so functional that you can enter into relationships with more openness. I've got see only love stuck to my elbow. Sorry, that was probably quite loud near that microphone. You do not have to abandon your boundaries with others. Rather, your boundaries are so functional that you can enter into relationships with more openness, trusting that your boundary will naturally assert itself when necessary, giving you the connection to yourself that you need when you need it, without having to withdraw from relationship entirely. It is time to trust your own boundaries and practice letting them help you whilst actively engaging in deeper relationship. You'll have fun. Okay, here's the poem. Loneliness is like a ship in full sail, with no wind and no place to go. I'm going to pull some Archangel guidance and I'm going to get this Mother Mary card. Just saw victory. Clairaudience. Notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. Loving guidance. You're hearing true divine guidance very clearly. It comes in the form of repetitious messages, urging you to improve a situation for yourself or others. Pay close attention to everything you hear in your mind and with your physical ears. Divine directives are repetitious, loving, and to the point. Ask me for help if you need clarification on anything you hear. I felt here this was about, with the back off, it's kind of like you're telling somebody for the final time, even though you've been trying to get the same message across, they just haven't been really hearing it. So it's like for the final time, it's I'm going to set myself straight. I'm going to set you straight. Where am I going with this? Let's get this straight once and for all. I know I get this some way, somehow. Working with Zadkiel, Archangel Zadkiel. Zadkiel's aura is a deep indigo blue. When you will wear the mineral lapis lazuli, you may feel a closer connection to Zadkiel. Hold this stone above your eyebrows to awaken your ear chakras and to clearly hear the voice of the divine. Let's so I don't know if I held it up for you to see. Moon cycles. Yeah, we just had the Scorpio full moon, which had a massive impact on a lot of people, especially with dealing with these kind of cycles. I think Saturday was especially a day that impacted a lot of people. Moon cycles, so we're out with the old and getting ready to come in with the new for the new moon. So let's read the moon cycles. It's about how you're affected during the moon. I'm not going to read it. It just says, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations and capitalise upon these cycles. So you may be able to kind of put together a link between the Scorpio full moon, how that had a massive impact on our world and the energy. So out with the old. And it's like old. And it says, brilliant idea. Yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. So I'm a little bit confused here with what this idea is. It could be with this dream a little. Keep charging ahead. It says that you're a light worker. So, okay, yeah, I feel that once actually this situation has been dealt with, it would be like a clean slate, as if going straight into implementing an idea that you have. It's like the freedom you have to then go forth. Something that's been stopping you. So let's read this brilliant idea. It's upside down. It's upside down. Archangel Ariel. Yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. Your idea is an answered prayer. Even though it may push you past your comfort zone, know that God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. Ask for and be willing to receive all of the support that you need to bring the idea to fruition. Know that I'll be there all along the way, and you can ask me for help at any time. I'm especially glad to give you ideas and creative insights to support your life's purpose. Yeah, with your spiritual gifts here, I'm going to go back and just actually read those 4 cards that I originally pulled in a minute. Working with Archangel Ariel. Ariel's energy is pale yellow like a candle's glow. Whenever you need ideas or intellectual guidance, contact Ariel. His energy is aligned with the amber crystal. Amber crystal. When I was in Austria, where was I? Salzburg. Where was I? Let me have a look. I know I have a magnet for you, so there's no point hiding. There was a crystal place. Why could I not see anything when I... Okay. Bizarre, it's not there. There should be one for it on there. Oh, yes, it is. It's staring right here. It must be a reason. But there was actually an amber. All it had was amber crystals. But it had like a kissing cave within it. There was... Yes, yes, it was here. Because I did walk. I didn't go all the way up. I nearly got there. But there was actually, just over here, there's a convent. I went more that way and went to view the convents. But when you're up high there, it's absolutely amazing. But there was an amber crystal place because it was just all amber. It was like, okay, is it just all orange, this colour of choice? And then as you went round, there was a wheel actually that was rotating all the water, and there was a little kissing cave. You would go in there for a kiss. I did have a picture of it. Okay, I won't go there, but I don't know why. It was the amber that took me there. Mozart. Very interesting. Okay, brilliant idea. Did I finish the message? I was off on my travels again. Yes, the energy is aligned with amber crystal. I picked up quite a bit from Austria. Okay, right, that's that then. Oh, I remember because actually I found a great place that done the most amazing iced cream. Most amazing ice cream. Okay, and I remember just sitting there watching the world go by across the square. They have the most amazing, I'm going to call it a cathedral. Anyway, okay, right, let's do a Mother Mary card. What's that crystal? It's something to do with that crystal. What would it be called? It's like a kissing cave. Oh, it actually has a name. Come on, I might have to actually just find out what this cave's called. It won't take me long, I don't think, to find out. But it's going to bother me otherwise. I guess it was quite funny because I took a photograph of a lady that I met on my holes, and she had just started to get into a relationship, dating. Her husband had passed away, and she had just met someone who was very, very nice. And I took a picture of her, and I think that she sent it to him. But first, I've just got to concentrate because I'm not actually focusing on what I'm doing. Okay, let me see if I could just quickly find. I need to. Something about this kissing. Wow. Just find. Oh, now this is where we are. But I want something to do with kissing. Here it is. This is it. Dirty my screen is. And Liebesgrotto. Now I do know in German that Ich liebe dich is I love you. One of the things that I wanted to know actually when I studied German. And it's, oh, one kiss is €1. You've got to pay for kisses in this place. I can't read any more from it. But one kiss, can you see there? There you go. The kissing grotto. I don't think I had any pictures of the actual. No, I've got no pictures of the actual this was the kind of when I went to the convent. That was, I went up there on my own because it was quite a hill, and the others couldn't really physically do the trek. But there was no way that I was going there and missing out on that. What's that got to do with anything? I don't know. Let's get a Mother Mary card. It's just weird how that kissing grotto, love grotto. There you go. It'd be a love grotto. How it was at the back of this like shop. So you went in, it was just all orange with ambers, and I was looking around, but obviously they're all just ambers. I'm like, okay, I like a bit of variety, but ended up kind of going through and then finding this kind of out the back, and it took you outside where there was a wheel that was, you know, pumping around the water, and I come across this little love grotto. Now this is interesting, okay, because I spoke about being the gatekeeper and how the masculine kind of has to come from the 3D and the feminine has to come down from the 5D, and then they kind of meet, combine, and help everyone to roll through. So it goes in my mind. And we've got card number 19, which brings us to a 10, which is completions, okay? And Our Lady of the Inner Gate. So let's have a look. The Love Grotto. Euro for a kiss. I used to, when my children were younger, I used to bribe them a little bit. Well, it didn't, because they knew, but they'd still do it. I'd say to them, would you be able to do mummy, you know, a favour? And they're like, oh, what is it? And I said, no, I've got something I'm going to give you afterwards, which is just going to be so awesome. And in the end, they just look at me and they go, you're just going to give us a kiss, aren't you? And I'm like, what do you mean just? So they would do things for me, and then I would go and jump them, and it kind of, I've got a really nice treat for you if you do that. They're like, Mum, it's not just a kiss, all right? So it's become a bit of a joke. I don't know. Okay. Oh, and relax. Let me just have a bit of coffee. I've got giggling now because I'll still try it now. I still count to 10 when I get them to do things. It's like, I count to 10. See if you could do this really quickly. Ready? 1, 2. They're like, I'm 19, Mum. Yeah, I know. They still do it. Oh, okay. Oh. Our Lady of the Inner Gate. I've got to get the grin off of my face. Hold on, I'm really knocking the cards over now. I just actually want to have a look at the card. My initiations are sacred, and no matter what appears to be happening in your life, I am behind it. I'm always guiding you towards your heart, for within that sacred temple, the most precious treasure is kept. To obtain that treasure, you will need courage, trust, and faith. I bestow my grace willingly upon you, my child, without restraint. You must provide the trust in me that gives you courage to take the journey. Your reward shall be riches beyond all imagining. There is a teaching that is, I'm going to put the card down. There is a teaching that it is easier to be grateful during a feast than a famine. In a similar way, perhaps judging on appearances alone, it can be easier to feel the presence of the divine behind the happy events of our lives or strokes of luck and good fortune, rather than in the challenges and loss. Yet the mother instructs us that she is just as much behind the challenges as she is behind the more obvious causes for celebration. How can this be? In her wisdom, she knows that of which we are capable. She knows that she knows what our heart can handle, how much heartbreak we can bear in order to grow our heart into a powerful vehicle for divine compassion, bliss, and wisdom. She knows that sometimes the happier path will be of great benefit to us. She also knows that at other times, being granted all that we want in the way we think we want it would actually prevent us from fulfilling our divine destiny and receiving our full spiritual inheritance. Whilst there will be many times in her journey with us that she guides us along a joyful path, there will also be times when her guidance leads us straight into what we most wanted to avoid. That might be loss or challenge, or a letting go that requires greater trust than we have ever had to summon before, or a need to endure great confusion as we let go of life too small for us. We will grow through the transition into the larger life awaiting us. What gets us through these initiations is the understanding that she is not trying to harm us or punish us, but to bring us to life. Our Lady of the Inner Gate comes to us with a message. We are being initiated into the power of our own hearts. The heart creates a powerful magnetic field that can be felt within us and around us. As we grow spiritually, the electromagnetic field of the heart grows too, and our energetic influence can become important, not only to immediate family members, but to whole communities with which we are involved. We can continue to grow in that heart power and become influential and sustaining to the world around us. This can even operate to the point that a country we are travelling in at any given time will be impacted by our heart field through which the Mother's grace can flow. Whatever is happening in your life at the moment, whether joyful, emerging, or challenging descent into facing a fear, know that it is an initiation into your heart power. We move through these initiations by not resisting them, by staying present and being with what we feel. This might seem impossible, and yet it becomes possible with practice, patience, and a willingness to trust that it isn't some random suffering to try and get out of as soon as possible, but a pathway that is leading us somewhere truly valuable. Even if we are in dark times, we can know that Our Lady of the Inner Gate is guiding us, keeping a watchful eye on us, and a guiding hand at our backs so that we can find our way into the deeper chambers of our hearts. This oracle heralds a time when you are growing in spiritual power. Whether you are aware of this consciously or not, you are becoming a person of increasing energetic influence. If you have some natural sense of spiritual responsibility, you may worry about this, wondering if you are always putting out constructive vibrations. Do not fear. You do not have to be perfect. You just need to be yourself and trust. It is your trust in the divine that brings the most power to your heart emanation and the most healing to the world around you. It is your willingness to experience your life with growing trust that empowers the Mother to act through you and for others to be nourished by your presence. It is your trust that paves the way to the inner gate, opening it wide and allowing you to discover the treasure within your heart. It is the riches within you. It is the riches within that you are always. Stop. I keep jumbling like the words around in their sentence. So let me just try and get a grip here. It is the riches within that you are looking for always, even if you fantasize from time to time that you are desiring something else. Without the riches of the heart, anything else obtained soon enough shows itself to be an empty vessel. It is the fullness of life itself and all that it offers that shall open up to your heart as it becomes even more capable of receiving that precious gift through this process. Okay, My screen's just gone dark. An hour and 30 minutes. Oh my. Okay. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Healing process and affirmations. Affirmation. Okay, let's read this. It comes in well with that cloak. Under a blanket of seemingly endless dark night sky, you wait patiently. A crescent moon softly glows serene and pale. Suddenly there is an explosion of beautiful orange, red, and yellow light, and the face of a beautiful woman emerges. She gazes down at you, starlight falling from her eyes into your heart. Receive this blessing now, and in your own time complete the healing with the following affirmation. The inner gate of my sacred heart opens as I am initiated through the heavenly light of the Holy Mother. Great blessings and treasures are bestowed upon me, which I lovingly share with the world in her holy name. So all those orange colours there was bring me back to that amber. Okay, I want to end on a postcard from Spirit. Okay, what's this say here? With love. Dearest Jew, if you allow your awareness to settle in, you will hear us whispering sweetness and encouragement to you. You will know the truth of things that cannot be discerned through the material world. The receiver for this kind of essential knowing is your intuition, which is not your sixth sense, but your first, the primary navigational system of your soul. Let's put that again. The receiver for this kind of essential knowing is your intuition, which is not your sixth sense, but your first, the primary navigational system of your soul. Okay. If you are entering, if you're entering, it says you are entering the age of consciousness. It's time to accept that the paranormal is normal. Human beings are multisensory, multidimensional beings. Spirit infuses all things, and your soul's job is to discover those essential truths here on earth, where we all agree to play. Today, trust your spidey sense, read between the lines, tune into the stories behind the stories, and your world will show you miracles. Fear not, for we are right here and Spirit loves you. And it says, trust the invisible. Okay, let's leave it there. If I don't see you, have a fantastic couple of days, and I'll be back on when I'm on. Okay, guys, remember to follow over on Facebook. I try and keep that going with whatever comes through. So, well, not try, I will. That's a bit different than actually putting on a camera. So, okay, guys, I'll catch up with you soon. But until then, take care. Much love. Bye for now.